Hi everyone, I am Stephen Drew from the Architecture Social. I hope you've had a good week. Last week we did a video on CVs where I talked about a few of the things that you should avoid doing because they're going to distract this employer who's reading your CV from hiring you, and a few of the tips and techniques that can hopefully grab their attention and showcase all your strengths so that you get that job. This week, what I thought we would do is look at a few CV templates so that we can see together, you can see my reaction on what works and what doesn't work. Also, if you want your CV reviewed, you can join the architecturesocial.com, and there's a section in the resources area where you can post your CV and the community can give you feedback, and I will give you feedback as well, as long as you remove your contact details. So check that out. But now let's go and look at a few CV templates together. Okay, so what I got here is InDesign open, and I put it in preview mode so that we can have a look at a few CVs together. So I've loaded up this one, and I haven't touched any of these CV templates at all. So we're going to talk about what is there and the bare bones. So this one, I assume that this circle is going to be a picture. Now, I don't think you need pictures. Usually the work and experience talks for itself. And the risk is with pictures sometimes is that they can cause the person that's looking at the CV, they might have a bias that they're not even aware of. So, and I think that you should probably not put in a picture. However, sometimes it can work in your favor. So use a picture at your risk. If in doubt, avoid putting the picture in. So here we can see we got Paul. You should obviously put your surname in here. So I think that there's no room on the template. No, there we go. So what I would do is obviously put your full name. Then it's fine here to have a title such as architectural assistant. You probably want to put one or two lines about who you are and what you're about. You don't want to go off on a big tangent in this space. You could just say, I am an architectural assistant who is available for work and currently looking in central London. That's kind of specific and that's targeted. It's good that the contact details are all here and they're up in the corner. They're up in the top right, which normally is where I go to look for contact details. So that's really good as well. Here you can see you've got job experience. I'm not a huge fan of these icons, but I will leave that up to you. What is good with this one is that we have, I'm just getting my bearings with zooming in and all this stuff. So we've got here the experience straight at the top. That's really good because if you've got industry experience, you always want your experience at the top so that, and with your most recent job first. So immediately I found here a big problem. Why would you put the role you had like 5 years ago at the top of your CV? So that's completely stupid. You would swap all these around. So basically this role here should be at the top. My gosh, that's completely the wrong way around. Wake up, whoever did this template. So what you want to do now is you want to put the most recent of your job experience always at the top of the CV. Education is fine, but for some reason this person's got everything the wrong way around, so you want to swap that around. You'd have this up here and you would put the other thing, you put the course you did further away at the bottom. Okay, references is always good to put in the CV, but actually you want to put the contact, you want to put, if you can, put like a little email with the person's permission. If they've given you permission, you can put that in there so that the person can get in contact. The employer can get in contact with them. Try to avoid putting available upon request at the bottom because with references, you want to actually put people's references in because that will inspire more confidence. Here, pro skills in the corner. Not sure what that means, but I guess in architecture you would have software skills, and my problem is with this, we've got a bar here right now. I guess it's for people to go, I'm not good at that, good at this. Well, it's really hard to quantify what that means, right? Because I might say, yeah, I'm pretty good. There's not much you can take from that. So my advice would be to actually say here, I'm freestyling this now, but you would go 1 year experience, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, and have it correlate with the buttons or the banners or of these things. So you always want to be literal. We don't want to detract away from the CV. We don't want it to be subjective. We want the CV to be factual. So my summary of this CV template is that it's pretty poor. The best bit is the contact details at the top and this, and I'm not against this spacing, that's fine, but you definitely want to put your most recent experience at the top. References fine, but here you definitely need to quantify how long you've been using the software. Okay, so in this second template, I think it has a bit more meat on the bones, and you can see what I mean here. So initial impressions loading this up is that the graphic design works better. You've got at the top here, you've got your name, you've got the title, so you'll be architectural assistant, you've got the contact details. It's really clean, crisp, and clear. We've got the email, we've got the website, that's all you need. We've got the brief introduction. Now, I don't even think you need to introduce an introduction, but what I think is helpful is, yeah, I think it's really good to put this here, and it's about the right size. Maybe you could put 1 or 2 more lines, but you could try to keep it like 3 lines like this. You're off to a good start, and then what that means is that you free up all this space now to expand in your experience, and your experience is what's going to get you that job in industry. What I like about this one compared to the other one is that actually now we've got the most recent job at the top. Hooray, well done, because that now I know that this person in this example was a lead UI designer, and I imagine in architecture, what that could be you talking about you being a lead architect on a project. And what I like here is that actually you've got a bit of a description. You can see the description here, and then we can see the skills. So let me zoom in on this layout here. So you can see here we got lead designer, and then we've got here the skills as well. This is skills with the description. Now that's nice, because what this does is this paints a picture. So you could say here, you were lead architect. I led a large-scale residential scheme using Revit, and it was at 300 units. It was based in Croydon. It was this size. I carried this project through REBA stages 1 to 6. Yeah, skills, design, management, leadership, team building, Revit, BIM coordination. You put it all in there. Fantastic. So this is a really good way to go about it. So we can see great layout. Oh, let me just get that over there so that we're looking good. And you can see now it flows. So I think this is a really good example. What I think you would need to do here, though, if you could, is squeeze the education in. I would try to squeeze the education in here. So I would try to put in where you went to university and the grades you got. Briefly, you don't need to go into it in big detail. Work experience always goes to the top. If you haven't got work experience, then do put other relevant experience in industry. So you could say I worked in Waitrose. You could put all that information here, and then put your education at the top. So next to it, if you haven't worked in industry, what we've got here is we've got the software skills, and I do think that, again, we've kind of got, I don't know, these have gone a bit out of place, but we've got like the 3 bars, the 5-bar system, 3 out of 5 kind of thing. To me, it doesn't really mean anything. So what I would do is you could even get rid of this, and then maybe you would put in something like, let's see here, let's go down. You would put in something like Revit Advanced, 1 year experience. Yeah. Now you can tidy up the graphic design. I'm just doing this live so you can get an idea. But then that's much more literal. And whether you keep the bars in is up to you. But I do think it's good to have a software skill area like that. Now, this is a bit limiting for one page. So let's see what you've got on the other page. Oh, cool. This person's actually put awards and education on this page. That's not a bad way to do it in references. This is actually not a bad template. So you can see here we've taken the same format. We talked about education. We talked about awards. I kind of like that. Personally, what I always try to do on the front, on the first CV, is to get in working, get you experience in industry, get in your software skills, and get in, if you can, your education somewhere. It doesn't have to be big. Just try and put it in somewhere. However, when you look at this in its entirety, I think, I'll calm down. I think it's a good CV. I think that this is a much better template than the other one. And because this allows you to breathe, it allows you to put all the the work experience and the software skills in. So let's bring it down now. Let's have a little look. And you've got awards. I don't think you need to put awards in. If you've won 1 or 2 awards, to me, this could probably go near the end, because then it's like it's the cherry on top. You might put the awards near the references. I think education should go above awards, because you want to get that near the top. Like we talked about before, you want the work experience, you want the education, and then you want to talk about the awards. And then maybe what down here you could sprinkle in a little bit of your personality, whether you go boxing, whether you do artwork, whether you're involved with a charity as well. And you've got the reference details down here as well. We've got the name of the person, the company, and we've got the contact details. So this is a much, much better CV than the last one. Okay, so the last CV I'm going to look at here today is this one. It's a little bit crazy. There's a few things that I don't like in it. But we can go through that together. And let me know your thoughts, whether you agree or not, because I'd love to hear your feedback. Now, this CV starts off with a cover sheet, okay? And there's very little information on there. It says resume, Andy Jones. I guess this is where you put your title. It's gone for whatever reason. And portfolio, born 1985, now 2015. What a useless sheet. It doesn't say anything about them. We want to go straight to the nitty gritty. If you look at the one before like this, it's like, boom, you've got all the information on the front here. Look, it's like all the information to work out who this person is. Whereas in this other one, let's go to Andy Jones. We've got a cover sheet. It's like, well, I'm not interested in that. And then this crazy template jumps into hello. It says hello twice. Reminds me of that U2 song. And then we've got over here this massive picture, right? Now, I mentioned I'm not the biggest fan of pictures, because they can cause a bias in the reader, whether they're aware of it or not. But having one this big is quite ballsy. I would recommend you don't do that. Then we've got the description here. There's no title on the job because that's at the front sheet, but to be honest, it says work for 8.5 years, age 29. This is a really good example of how not to structure your CV. I think this is kind of creative in the sense of doing something different, but not necessarily doing it effectively. And then we've got these bars as well. Here, concepts, 100%, design, art direction. Can you imagine putting in architecture, 100%, Revit, art direction? It's just not ideal. And we've got the software down here, so I guess what would you put in these? And then the software down here, again, we're not quantifying anything. It's just these whirly bars. So I think this is a really distracting CV. I mean, we've got the timeline here, and the timeline's pretty funky way of doing things. It's probably the first thing I like in this CV. This kind of cool template. This is kind of a nice way of going about it. And I guess now the work experience here, when we're going into it, it does lay out the work. My problem is with this though, is that this CV, I think a CV should only be like 1 to 3 sheets at the top, and this is kind of like a CV, which is almost like a portfolio as well. So while that looks nice, look how much empty space there is, and now it's nice that pages can breathe, but this is quite I think this is too much. And here you can see it goes into the portfolio. So the risky thing when you have a CV, which is also the portfolio, so the CV and the portfolio, is that I think if you break up the CV in one file and the portfolio, that allows the employer to just look at the CV and to go into the portfolio as well. The problem is with this is that it's kind of taking the length and breadth of a portfolio and spreading all this information really thin. So I would have suggested that you would avoid doing this, because I think that this kind of CV format is going to attract, it's going to be the right CV with an additional PDF portfolio, which you attach to it, which would show all of the academic work you've got in industry, as well as the professional experience you've got. Thank you so much, everyone. I thought I'd give you my raw thoughts without over rehearsing it too much, so that you can see my natural reaction going through CV templates. There was one in particular which I thought was stronger than the other two, However, the best CV that you can do is of your own design. It's okay to look at those files, but don't let them dictate you. Don't let them box in your design. Your career is going to be specific to what you've done, your passions, and what you want to say. If you would like your CV to be reviewed, again, you can join the Architectural Social. There is a resource section within the Architectural Social where we do comment on CVs and portfolios. If you do want to post your CV there, I will give you my thoughts. Just remove your contact details. Thank you so much. If you thought that this kind of raw, a little bit unedited, and pure thoughts on those layouts was helpful, let me know. And if you want me to do more of these videos because they're helpful, leave a comment, subscribe, and we can do more in the next video. Thank you.